Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon from everywhere you are. My name is Mohsen, and I am from Microsoft Zero to Hero. I'm so happy to be here with another great session. Before to jump the main session, let me share some slide about the community. Yeah, today we have a Ravi. He wants to talk about Azure infrastructure deployment using Azure Blueprint. The topic is interesting. And actually, as you know, we are part of Microsoft Learn Community. Microsoft Learn Community is a central hub about learning content based off your role, based off your certification. You can choose your learning path. And also, there are lots of learning experts. You can ask your question. For joining this Microsoft Learn community, you can join from aka.ms Microsoft Learn community. And this is a Microsoft Zero Hero December calendar. We have only two sessions in 2024. You can register, don't miss that. And all previous session uploaded in our YouTube channel. The last slide is our code of conduct. Be aware of other, be friendly and passionate, be welcoming and respectful, be open to all question and viewpoint, be understanding on different, be kind and considerate to others in the chat, in the question, in the voice. At the time is to add Ravi on the stage. Hello again, Ravi.
Hi, Mohsen. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. So, from
Yeah,
wherever you are, please accept my greetings.
great, great. Thank you. And I think all of the participants waiting for you start your session and you can start.
Sure, Mohsen. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Once again, welcome all of you to this live session. So, today I will be talking about infrastructure deployment using Azure Blueprint. I'm sure many of you must have explored about Azure Blueprint service. You must have seen like how Blueprint can be used to automate your infrastructure deployment, maybe in terms of creating entire lending zone using an Azure Blueprint. So surely I will brief you about Azure Blueprint and I'll take you through a demo as well, like how you can use Blueprint for managing your Azure services. All right. Let me see. Uh, okay, we have option to present. Okay, I'll share my screen. Entire screen. Okay.
Okay, I add your screen the stage. Yes, we have your screen.
Okay. So it's showing me different, but I think it's fine. Or shall I share my second screen? It's
Okay,
okay.
no worry.
Shall I try sharing my second screen once again?
Okay, no worry.
Um, share screen. Is
Yeah,
it visible? All right.
yes.
Thank you. So, uh, is it my slide is visible? Motion
Yes,
can come.
yes, we have your slide.
All right. Cool again, guys. So once again, welcome everybody. Hope you all able to see my presentation as well as you all can hear me loud and clear. So today, as Motion mentioned, right, I'll brief you about the infrastructure deployment using Microsoft Azure Blueprint. So as I mentioned, like it is very interesting, fascinating topic to discuss. What exactly this Azure Blueprint is, I'll take you briefing about that one, how you can go and use this Azure Blueprint. I'm sure definitely by 2026 it is going to retire as well, but still a long way to go. Till the time, if you wish to explore more about the blueprint, you can go and use this blueprint service of Microsoft Azure. All right. Let me first introduce myself. Who I am, guys. So my name is Ravi Mishra, and I'm coming near about 14 plus years of experience into this IT means IT domain, and more than 8 plus years into this cloud. So I'm based out in Pune, India. I have a passion of imparting trainings on cutting edge technologies. So as a speaker, I keep on going and talking about several cutting edge technologies related to the cloud, maybe related to the cloud security, containerizations, Kubernetes. So all that I keep on talking about. So today, in front of all of you, I'm talking about this Azure Blueprint service, which is quite a good topic to discuss. So I'll brief you about that. Apart from that, if you see, all right, so I am one who had completed near about 54 plus cloud certifications, as well as I have a batch of this MCT, Microsoft Certified Trainers. So in this 54 cloud certifications, I have done Azure, AWS, Google, Ali, Oracle. So I have done hands-on experience on all this public clouds domain as well. Plus, I done a lot of certifications as well. And now, when I'm saying certifications, I definitely gone through. Means I've done all the study of it. I did all the hands-ons as well, and then only I gone for those exams, I can say. If you wish to connect with me, this is my LinkedIn. So you can go and type on linkedin.com/in/in Mishra R. You'll find me. So this is my DP of DP. You can find it on the LinkedIn, right? Apart from that, if I tell more about my hobby, I love to go for marathon. I have completed, I think, 4, 5 half marathons so far. I seems to be a little bit bulky in size, but I find myself to uh, go ahead and participate into such marathons as well. I love to play chess. I love cooking during my spare time, and I love to play badminton as well. Apart from that, I have also written a book. The book name is HashiCorp Infrastructure Automation Certification Guide. So it is more about the Terraform. So if you are a infrastructure as a code lover, Terraform lover, then I'll definitely recommend all of you to just search on Google. You'll find it with this name. It's been quite old one, but again, it is quite good one. You can explore that book to learn more about infrastructure as a code. I'm a married guy, as you can see into picture, my family pictures, right? My daughter, so she's lovable, charming. She is the one with whom I spend my most of the time of. Whenever I get a time, I just go ahead and try to play with her. So that's about me, guys. I'm sure you all must be keen to know what exactly we are planning to cover in today's session. So, briefing about today's session. Like in today's session, I'll brief you about what exactly this Azure Blueprint is, right? What is the benefit of this Azure Blueprint? What Blueprint can do for you? And finally, I'll give you a demo of the blueprint. Now, in that demo, I'll try my best to show you some infrastructure deployment and policy, as well as uh, role assignments. I'll try to show you like how you can handle all of this using a blueprint, Microsoft Azure Blueprint. Now, let's talk about Azure Blueprint. So, what exactly it is, right? So it is a service in Microsoft Azure that can help your organization to define or to enforce certain policies. If you want to manage Azure resources in terms of infrastructure as a code, you want to ensure your organizations having a compliance or consistent deployment of the infrastructure, then the blueprint can be a good service for you or good option for you. So with this blueprint, I can perform multiple actions at one go itself. Like if I tell you, like for example, as an infrastructure as a code, I have ARM template. Rather than going individually and deploying the ARM template separately, I can just configure it inside the blueprint definitions. I can go and configure that one. If I want to assign certain permissions to someone, let's say role assign, right? I want to get it done. Then that also I can define it inside this blueprint definitions. Okay. Now, I'll be discussing more about like what all components are there inside the blueprint as an artifact, uh, what things we can manage it, and how we can manage it in our later part. Okay, I'll define that one. Now, there is few components what you see like a blueprint definition. Okay, and then there is a blueprint assignment, and one more component which is called as blueprint artifact. Now, blueprint definition is what? What is blueprint definition? So it is, you can say more of like I'm trying to write or prepare a sketch. I'm trying to use this blueprint service. Now, in order to use that service, I will go ahead and try to prepare some building blocks, right? It is a basic building blocks, you can say, where I will go and define what all I want to do it using the Azure Blueprint. So when you want to deploy or when you want to perform any actions using a Azure Blueprint, first thing what you have to do is you have to create a blueprint definitions. Now, once you created the blueprint definitions, then the next component will be coming as an artifacts. Now, in the artifacts, as I mentioned, you have four things which you can manage it using Azure Blueprint. One is if you want to create a new resource group, suppose, then you can define it at the subscription level, right? Another thing what you can do is if you want to have, let's say, ARM template or biceps templates you have, or for VNet, for storage, for virtual machines, you want to get it, manage it, then under that resource group, you can define it as an artifact. You can define that one. You want to create some policy at that beginning itself, right? If you want to deploy this whole, let's say, um, enterprise infrastructure, and that very time itself you want to put certain policy. For example, you want to force your resources to get deployed into one specific location. Due to your compliance or regulatory, you want all the services of Microsoft Azure should go, let's say, into East US or West Europe. Now, you can create that policy during the assignment, means during the definition of this blueprint artifact itself. You can define that policy then and there itself. So you don't need to go and define this separately, right? You can manage it using this Azure Blueprint itself. Another thing what you can find inside the artifact is RBAC. So RBAC is role-based access control. So suppose, for example, I want to create whole of the network components. I want to create whole of the network services only in Microsoft Azure. I want to create it in a specific resource group of, let's say, network dash RG. I want to create that one. Now, within that, for example, I want to deploy VNet, subnets, I want to deploy virtual network gateway, I want to deploy NAT gateway, NSG, all other services. Now you think of it. These all components which I want to deploy, right? Now, these all components, I need to give it to access to only a network person, right? I don't want to give it to any other person. So what I'm saying is, let's say I got network dash RG. This is my resource group for the network. All the network components are here. Resources are here. I'm getting it deployed using it. Now, someone from the network should have the permission here. I don't want to give the permission to anyone, for example. So I want, let's say, some permission specific to the networking. I want to assign it. Now, using this blueprint, Azure Blueprint, I can manage all of this. So, what all things I mentioned, like I can manage resource group, I can manage RBAC, I can manage ARM template, ARM template or biceps, whatever templates you have, you want to get it used for your deployment of your entire landscape or entire infrastructure, then you can do, plus the policy. Now you think of it, rather than going individually and performing these actions, right, one by one. So if I have to do a repetitive work, let's say I have a dev environment, pre-prod environment, prod environment, or if I have different subscriptions, if I have multiple subscriptions where I'm looking for a same sort of deployment or configurations. Now you think of it, those repetitive work I can do it just with a few clicks itself. I don't need to keep on doing the same exercise or same thing again and again into a different subscriptions, or for a different landscapes. If I want to do it, I don't have to go ahead and do that one multiple times. I just have to define it one time. I have to prepare that blueprint definitions in such a way so that I can go ahead and I can utilize it multiple times. That is the advantage, or that is the beauty of this Azure Blueprint, I can say. Now, I just explained, or I just talked about the Azure Blueprint artifact, right? I told you what are the artifacts will be there. So these are all the artifacts. So these are the four things are there which can be managed, or which will be falling under the Azure Blueprint. Now, this assignment, what is it? Now, with the Azure Blueprint, you can have different versioning of it. So let's say I have version 1, version 2, version 3. So I can do what? I can create it as as a kind of assignment. I can create that one. I can publish it, and once I publish that one, it will be available for us to use it. Means it will start doing the deployment for us. So I'll show you like how I'll go ahead and create an assignment. So I'll show you like how I'll go ahead and publish it, how I'll go ahead and use Azure Blueprint to manage all of those four artifacts which I just spoken. Now again, these are the things which just I spoke, or just I talked about it, right? Like Azure Blueprint. So in that blueprint definition, like when I go ahead and try to create the Azure Blueprint, then I will get these options, right? I can have all the artifacts in place, and inside that artifacts I can call it out for, let's say, policies, resource groups, or the resources structures and the dependencies. Like I can define it inside the Azure Blueprint. I can select the locations where I want to apply or save, let's say, apply this Azure Blueprint at the management group level or at the subscription level. I can choose where that deployment should go. Okay. Now, blueprint assignment, I just talked about it. So the blueprint assignment will have what, like where we want to. It's a more of call. You can say like it's an instance, right? We want to perform this deployment. Now it is something you can say like an instance that will help us with the deployment of it. Now this will contain what? It will contain all the metadata like the name, description of the assignment, what all definition you want to apply, right? So that will all contains inside the blueprint assignment. Now purpose of it is what? The purpose is this, what you see, like it want to ensure the resources are deployed the way you have defined your policies, the way you have defined your, let's say, RBACs, right? The way you want to ensure your company or your organization should be compliant. it will go ahead and follow that purpose or sequence, you can say. I talked about this artifacts as well. So inside that artifacts, as I mentioned, like the four things can be managed. So whether it could be your virtual machine, whether it could be, and so you have a ARM templates, you have biceps template for the virtual machines, you have for the storage account or for the network resources, any resource that you want to manage it, you can define it in a code format, right? In a template, you can have, and during the deployment of the blueprint or actual execution of the blueprint, you can have the parameterized file of it, and you can pass on the value of the parameters, so that during the deployment or the execution of the blueprint, it will go and perform that deployment for us. So I'll show you into the demo as well, like how you will go and use this Azure Blueprint to perform the deployment of your enterprise infrastructure. So I'll explain you some of the use cases as well, like where you can go and utilize it. Like as I mentioned, if you have multiple landscapes like dev environment, pre-prod environment, prod environment, now you don't want to keep on going and doing it manually, managing the RBAC, managing the resource deployment, creating the resource groups or the policies. You don't want to do it manually, or just want to do it one by one, right? So what you can do is you can collect all of this together and form one kind of package using an Azure Blueprint, and just go and deploy that. So with just one click itself, Azure can perform all these action item which I'm talking to you. It can do all of this job at one go itself. So it is reducing your overhead burdens of managing different services or components separately. Just you make as a confined one bundle of it, and then just go ahead and perform the deployment of it. Now let's talk about the blueprint service which I'm talking, right? So what could be the advantage of it? Just I explained you, like it can help you to perform multiple actions, right? It can create resource group for you, it can manage policies for you, it can perform deployment of resources for you, it can perform RBAC for you. So these four activity, let's say I want to bundle it. So definitely, if my organization is looking something, for example, compliance, right? So my organization want to have a compliant in terms of, it's a policy. I given you an example of uh, region. Suppose all of my services should go, or any future resources also should go and get deployed into a specific region of Microsoft Azure. For example, if any resources which are getting created in Microsoft Azure, they always should have certain tagging. For example, if I need to follow PCI DSS compliance, right? So my resources should meet with that compliance. So I can do what? I can manage it, or I can define that one using a blueprint. So blueprint can help you to make sure your organization or your product or your application or your infrastructure is compliant as per your business need. Also, if I'm looking to do something repetitive work, correct? Many times we look for an automation, and this is an automation only. Many times we look for an automation. Why we look for an automation, guys? We look for an automation when we see like there is a value added, there is a repetitive exercise, I need to keep on doing it again and again, so I don't like to do it again and again, so better to get it automated. And when we do some automations, what it will do, it will save us and save our lot of time. So here as well, Azure Blueprint can, means Azure Blueprint help us to save huge amount of time. I given you an example. Like I have four subscriptions. Suppose, not four, suppose three subscriptions. One is for my dev environment, one is for my uh, pre-prod, another one is for my prod. Now think of it. I have certain infrastructure where complex infrastructure I'm talking. Let's say you got some 20 servers, you got some virtual network gateway, multiple resources are there, bastion host, many more resources you have or services are there, which you have to create it. Again, for one subscription, again you have to go and create it for another subscriptions as well. So you think of it, if you do it multiple times by manual exercise, it's difficult. It could be a nightmare for you to do that one. So what you can do is, better and best is, you can make it as a kind of package. The definition which we talked, right, just we spoken, you make that one and you go ahead, use that blueprint uh, assignments, use that one and get it deployed at multiple subscriptions. No problem, right? You can easily able to do that one. Now what this will do, this will be saving your lot of time. Yeah, this will help you to reduce your effort, because this is a repetitive exercise. I don't want to keep on doing it by self, right, or with a click. I don't want to do that one. I just simply want to get it automated, and I already prepared a blueprint of it. Now I just have to go and click and choose the subscriptions where I want to get it deployed. Subscription A, B, C, D, many more. Wherever I want the same setup to be done, I can just use that blueprint and it can help me to get that one done. The another benefit what you see is, you see this, because there is a less human intervention. When I'm saying less human intervention means I'm not going and doing the things manually. If I given you means I given you an example of, let's say, three subscriptions, for example. So in the three subscriptions, if I have to deploy 50-50 resources, and if I missed a single configuration here and there, then definitely it will have some error. It will not be aligned properly the way it's supposed to be into the dev, the way it's supposed to be into the prod, pre-prod. It will be not matching, correct? But if I made it in a form of template, or if I made that whole blueprint assignments one time, and if I just click and if I just click and say like, okay, go and perform the deployment into this A subscription, B, C, every time I'll find like it will perform the same actions. There won't be any kind of deviations. There won't be any kind of error into that. If the deployment got failed because of some other issues, maybe access or something like that, then it's a different story. But you will not see any kind of deviation into the deployment of it. Okay. So these are the benefits of Azure Blueprint. There are many more benefits of it, as I can see, or as I mentioned, right? So you can make, like, let's, for example, you can make a bundle of, you can create your landing zone. You can make a bundle of all of this four features or services which I spoken just now. I'll talk what Blueprint can do for you. You see here, so just I spoken about the compliance. So here as well, you see like automated the governance, correct? So Blueprint can help in terms of centralizing. If I want to have a centralized or consistent um, monitoring or enforce the policies across all of my Azure subscription or at my management group level, Blueprint can help me to achieve that one. It can help me to assign the policies, it can help me to create the policies, it can help me to meet with that compliance, whether it can also help me to have a monitoring of it, whether my resources are compliant, or if I'm looking for some kind of audit. That also Blueprint can help me by creating certain policies which I have defined into that blueprint definitions. If I'm looking for some sort of standards, right? If I'm looking for repetitive exercise or scalable deployment, I'm looking for my infrastructure, then Blueprint can be the right option for us. Okay, Blueprint can do that scalable deployment of the infrastructure for us. Many times architects or engineers, they struggle to define the landing zone, right? Many times I got this question, how one can go and define the landing zone in Microsoft Azure. So you don't need to worry about it, right? The landing zone, Blueprint can easily able to prepare that one for you. In that landing zone, it will make sure that the basic requirement of the infrastructures is in place. Let's say for example the network, let's say for example the authentication, role based access controls is in place, right? Let's say for example some policies should be in place. So all that will be defined into the landing zone. Next, Blueprint can help, as I mentioned, like if you have multiple landscapes, you have dev environment, pre-prod, prod, Blueprint can help you to perform the deployment of your resources, policies, RBAC into a different landscapes as well. So these are some of the activity what Blueprint can do for you. Okay. Now, what I will do is I will take you through the demo of it. Then you will get a better understanding like what this blueprint is all about and what this blueprint can help you, or what this blueprint can do for you. I'll take you through some of the Microsoft documentations as well, where you can go and read more about Microsoft Azure Blueprint. Okay. Mm, So, let me take my browser. All right. So you need to log in to your Microsoft Azure portal. So portal.azure.com. Once you logged into that one, and definitely in order to use a blueprint, you need to have active subscriptions. So if you have active subscriptions, then only you will able to use this blueprint. This is something a prerequisite I can say. Also, you need a permission, right? So you need an access to use this blueprint. Now, what I'll do is I'll search, right? Like I'm talking about a service called as Blueprint. So I'll just search this service. So if I search, I'll get something like this. Now, if you see here, as I mentioned already, like it is getting retired by 2026, but it's still a long way to go, right? Still almost 1.5 year or so is there. Till the time if you feel like blueprint you want to navigate or you want to explore, you can, right? So they are deprecating this service and they are moving this to template spec and the deployment stack. So this is something they are coming up where they will use this blueprint features, the features which I just explained, the 4 features it can manage, right? So that they are trying to move it to this. Okay. Okay, all right. Now you, if you try to just go back to my slide and try to understand what I was talking about. So I'm right now in front of, right now I'm at the blueprint, Azure Blueprint page, correct? Now here, if you want to read about the Azure Blueprint, you can just open this documentations and you can read it from here. Apart from that, if you feel like something you want to know more about the blueprint, you can use the Copilot as well, right? So Copilot can also help you to define whatever questions you have. Like if you have any specific questions related to the blueprint, it can also guide you through this. So that is a Copilot. You can use this Copilot as well for getting some of the answers or some of the notes. But as I mentioned, if you feel like you see this, so if you just want to know a little bit about it's more about the Azure Blueprint. So this is the Microsoft documentations. You can go and you can refer. So all the point which I explained, like if you see here, so all the things which I was talking about, so these are all the artifacts are there inside the Azure Blueprint, which can which you can manage it, like the role assignment, policy assignment, ARM templates, and this resource groups. Now how it is different from the ARM template? So ARM template again, a blueprint is a bundle, right? So it can perform multiple other features, means it have multiple other features as well. If you talk about just an ARM template, it is just infrastructure as code. Yeah, how it is different from the Azure policies? If you see again, the policy is just a one service, but blueprint is more of the collection of the multiple other features of the services as well. Okay, now you see here, so blueprint definitions, locations, like where you want to define that one. And you see here, if you want to apply it, as I mentioned, like you need to have privilege or access, and you need a contributor access here. If you want to save it at the management group level or the subscription level, where you want to save this blueprint definition file, you have to choose that one when you create the blueprint. So I will go ahead and I will create the blueprint for you. When I'll create a blueprint, then you will get to know about this blueprint definition and assign blueprint, right? So you will see inside that, like how we can do that one. And apart from that, if you see something, I can parameterize the content or I can hard code it as well. So suppose I got a template, and that template, in that template, if I have defined something as a parameter, like in the ARM template, you define it as a parameter, for example. So if I made it as a parameter, so during the execution or during the deployment of the blueprint, I can define those values. So I can change it. Suppose first time I want VM1 to get created. Second time, I want to create another VM. First time, I was looking for a VNet A. Second time, I want to have some other VNets in a different subscription or in a different management groups. I can perform all of this if I will make it as a parameterized. I'll show you like how you can have a parameterized value of inside the blueprint. I'll show you that one. Next, you see this blueprint publishing. Now, once you created your definitions, right? After that, you have to publish it. Once you publish that one, then it will be ready for you as an assignment. You can just put some versioning of it, and then you can use that published version for the deployment of all your features which you have defined inside your blueprint. So without any further ado, what I think of, like, let me take you through this demo, then you get a fair understanding of or better understanding of what I was talking about. So let me do one thing. Let me try creating one blueprint for you. So if you come down here and try to see, Microsoft is giving you this flexibility or opportunity, like you don't want, let's say you don't want to create something from the scratch. They have already given you some samples, some templates are there. So you are looking, let's say for example, you are looking for something ISO 27001. You want to assign this policies, you want to make sure like your company is aligned with this, right? So you just choose this template. It will create all the necessary policy, means all the necessary policy definitions is defined inside this template. If I'm looking just simple virtual network with some subnets with some NSG, I want to just create that one, I can use this template. Okay, like that. If you see like Canada Federal PBMM, so if I'm looking for this compliance, some project where I need to follow this compliance, or some common policies I want to get it created. So there are many more like this, right? So I'll do what? I'll just start with the blank blueprint. Then you get a fair idea about what exactly this blueprint definition is, what is the assignment is, how we publish it, how we define the artifacts inside it. So let's start with it. So if I say, for example, I'm just giving the name of it. Suppose zero dash hero dev blueprint. Okay, I'm just giving the name of it. Now, if you want to define the purpose of this blueprint, you can define the purpose of it. You can put some write up here if you wish. It's not mandatory. So you see here the red asterisk showing it is mandatory. You have to give the name of it, right? Now, this is important. The location where I want to keep my blueprint, where I want to save my blueprint, right? So I can choose the location. So as I mentioned, if you have hundreds of subscription where you want to implement this, for example, I want to implement one policy and I want to implement it across multiple subscriptions, so I can choose the management groups. In my case, you see, like, I have multiple management groups are there, I can choose that one. But I'll do what, I'll define this, or I'll keep it at the subscription level. I'll save that one. Yeah. So I'll choose the subscription level where I want to store, or I want to keep this blueprint definitions files, I can say. Now let's go to the artifact, the one which I was talking earlier. The blueprint can manage the four things, right? Now, what are the four things are there? Now here I have selected, let's say at the subscription level, what I can do, if I choose this artifact, I'm getting the four things. Okay. Any policy which I want to apply at my subscription level, any role or any permission I want to give it someone at my subscription level, any new resource group I want to create it or manage it, I mean, manage it means create it, the new resource groups, then I can choose this. Any, let's say, any arm template, any arm template I have, then I means arm template that I want to apply it at the subscription level, then also I can choose this. Now, what all arm template you can deploy at the subscription level? For example, policies. You again, there is a policy assignment here itself, but again, if you want to manage it using a arm template itself, that also something feasible. You can bring the code here and you can apply it. Right? So what I'll do is I'll just go ahead with this resource group. I'll create the resource group. So for example, I'll say suppose zero dash sorry, for example, hero dash RG, right? Okay. Now what here you see, this is what I was talking about, the parameterized what I can say, like the parameterized blueprint, right? So if I uncheck this, I can hard code this value. Means if I will hard code it, I will not able to change it again and again. And so this blueprint will have fixed or static name. But generally in our real-time scenarios, what we do is we keep it parameterized, so I can deploy it into a multiple landscapes and multiple environments as well. So I'll keep it like this. And if I'm looking for some tag to be defined, I can just define that as well. Suppose like cost center, something 004C 4C. Okay, like this. I want to ensure that this should be there, so I'll just add it like this. Done. Now I'll add the another artifact. Let's go and add it. I'll add the policy assignment. Now there are many policies are here. If you are looking for some of your customs policies, that also you can do it. I'll just choose one of the policy, for example, location, right? I'll just define that one. Location, allowed location, for example, right? This is a built-in policy. I'll choose that and I'll use that one. Now this is something I've used. Now here I have the list, like where I want to allow it, so I'll parameterize it. I'll just define that location value during the runtime. I'm just giving an example, guys. There are many more which you can do it. Now if you see here, now the role assignment. So if I want to give a role, for example, I want to give a contributor role to somebody, I can just go and add it here. Now another thing what I want to manage is, let's say, arm template. So I'm just saying, for example, vnet 01, for example, I want to add that one. Now you got a template file right here, you can put that one. So I already got some template file. I'll do what, I'll just keep that template file here. Now, from where I'm extracting or getting these templates files, these are all just a basic ARM templates. You can go and get it from our GitHub, or you can go and look into the custom deployment from there also you can find these templates. So right now I just taken a simple, for example, I've just taken a vnet. You can use any arm template like you want. Any scenarios you want to pick it up, you can go and pick that one. So you want, let's say, 10 virtual machine with clustering, Kubernetes, right? Anything which you feel like you want to get it deployed using the blueprint, you just define the template here and then you're done. Now I done this one. I'm sure like I done all of this. If you have more files, like you have more arm templates and many more are there, you just go ahead and get it added here. Now I'll just have to do what I have to save this as a draft. Just save this. Okay, now you see the definition is getting saved. Now, in the blueprint definition, I have defined all the actions or the features which blueprint can handle. Like I have defined the policies, I have defined the RBAC, I have defined the ARM templates as well. Now, I'll do what? I'll just go to that definition. Now, this is my definition, right? Now, this definition, what I have to do is, if I want to use this definition to my next level, or I want to do the deployment using it, I just have to publish this. If I feel like some more components are missing into it, or some more features I want to get it added here, I'll just go and edit this blueprint. But what I'll do is I'll just go and publish this blueprint for now. Let's publish this blueprint and I'll publish it, let's say version dash one, whatever name you want to give, just put that one, right? There should not be a previous version of it. Just make sure that whatever name you are giving it, it should be like that. So tomorrow you want to change or edit it, and again you want to publish it as a version 2, version 3, version 4, so you can go and change that as well, and you can publish it. Now I publish this. Once I publish this one, what is the next step I need to do is I need to go and assign this blueprint. Okay. Now here is the assignment name it is coming, location it is coming here, this. And if you have multiple version of this same blueprint, you can choose which version you want to assign. So if I have version 1, version 2, version 3 of it, and I keep on making some changes into that one, and I want to call the previous version or the updated latest version, just choose the version which you want to call it. Now you see here there is a very cool feature inside this blueprint. Do not lock, do not delete, or read only. So if you want to specify the lock, right, at the resource group level, you want to define that, then you can put that lock. Now, when you put that lock at that very time, what will happen? This blueprint, when the blueprint is executing or performing the deployment, at that very moment also, or even after also, person will not able to delete it, or person will not able to make changes into that specific resource group. So this is also a quite good feature what you see here. Immediately, if you feel or if you want to secure your resource group from any kind of accidental deletions and all, then you can just apply that one, like read only or do not delete, right? You can apply that one. Also, if you feel like this assignment, again, you see here, if you want to have a manage identity, right? If you want to you want to give certain permissions, okay, so then you can define this system assigned identity or user assigned identity. Right now I'm not looking for this, right? So I'll just go ahead and show you this one. Now coming to this place, what do you see? So what is the value of it? So I'm just saying, like, let's say hero dash rg. So this is the name of the resource group I'm giving. You can give any name as per the naming conventions of your business need or requirement. Just put that one. Now location, where we want it, right? So I want this deployment to be done into the, let's say, East US. Okay. Now whom I want to give a permission. So I'll say maybe I'll search if I find somebody. Yeah, suppose I want to give this user. So again, this user should be there into your tenant or into your active Microsoft Entra ID. Then you can choose that, whether it could be a guest or whether it is the users from here, right? So you can choose that one. So I can choose, like, let's say for example, this Sarath, right? So I can choose that one. Now this one, allowed location. Now this is my policy, right? I want to make sure that when I'm doing the deployment using this blueprint, or in future also when I'm will go ahead and perform certain deployment, then I should have certain policies in place. Now this is my policy which will go and prohibit me or restrict me to perform the deployment only into these allowed locations. So if I will choose, let's say, East US, I will not able to perform the deployment of my resources into other region apart from this East US. So I will always able to perform the deployment into the East US only. It's up to us. Like you see here, you have option to choose the multiple locations, so you can go and choose that one, right? Now this is all fine. So rest all what you see, like the VNet name and all. So if you feel like you want to change the VNet name, any name you want, suppose demo VNet, you can choose. So this is the advantage of making it parameterized. So as it is parameterized, right? As into my code, if I show you the code also, sorry, if I just show you, you see here, if I just show you, so here you'll find like this is just a simple VNet example which I have taken, right? So in this example you'll find like these all values are coming as a parameter. Okay, these all values are coming as a parameter, so that's why I'm getting that opportunity to define during the use of it. So I can put any name, it's up to us, like VNet, demo dash VNet for example, and location of this VNet. So where I want to deploy this, for example, I want to get it created into the East US. Now this is a simple example I'm giving to you, but in your real-time scenarios you may be having a complex ARM templates. You can take that ARM template and you can perform this deployments or assignments using this blueprint. Now I just click on assign, done. Now this template what you have seen, right, it is just a one-time effort for me to get it created. Once I created that one, then after that, if I have to perform this action again and again 100 times also, I don't have to go and do anything, right? I just have to go to this blueprint and assign this blueprint, that's all. Click on assign blueprint, pass on the parameters values if you want to change it, and then submit that one. Now we will go and see the status of it. So if I just click on this assign blueprint, so you see here it is going, yeah, it is doing that, the part of the job which we told, right, which we mentioned. We'll see in a while, we will see like what all things we define, like the resource group creations, we defined the VNet creations, everything should be in place. Okay, so we will wait for a while and you will find that a resource group will be there, RBAC will be there, VNets will be there, policies will be there, right? So everything will be there. Now just think about it, like if I have to do this for if I have to do this into 100 of my subscriptions, same sort of things I have to do that one. How easy it could be using this blueprint. It would be saving my a lot of my effort and the time, right? I can simply use this blueprint to perform all of this deployment for my organization. So I don't have to keep on juggling between one subscription to another subscriptions here and there, no, right? Just at one place itself I easily able to manage it using this Azure Blueprint. Now you see we given a name called as hero RG, right? And inside that hero RG you see here the demo does VNet also got provision or got created. Now this is getting managed using a blueprint. What about, for example, tomorrow you deleted the blueprint, you gone ahead, the blueprint what we created here, somebody gone ahead, let's say, and saying like let's unassign this blueprint. So if I click on this unassign the blueprint, for example, you see here it will not impact your resources, the one which got provisioned or created. It will not make any changes. That Unassign the blueprint means you will no longer further able to manage your resources, the resources which you defined or created, or the artifact which you defined or created. You will no longer able to handle it using the blueprint. Okay, so if you want to manage them in your future, you want to manage them using a blueprint, then don't unassign this. If you unassign it, then you will no longer able to manage those artifacts or those features which you deployed, or those resources which you deployed using the blueprint. You'll not able to manage it. Okay, so here we go. Like if you see, I just shown you this, right? Now if you go and try to see the access, the one which we given, that also will be in place. If you try to see the policy, if I just check the policy, that also should be in place. Yeah, so if I just look for the policy which we created, this one, you see. Now this policy, what is the scope of it? The scope is this one. Okay, where we applied this policy. Now what is the location we allowed? So we allowed the location east us, and it is telling us the status of it as well. Like our provision resources are there into the east us, so it is telling us like it is compliant, right? If it will be if it will be there into a different location and all, then it could have told us like it is a non-compliant. So you see here, everything got in place using this blueprint. So I don't have to keep on juggling between policies or resource group or arm templates. I don't have to keep on juggling here and there. At one centralized place itself, I easily able to manage all these four features or four artifacts which I talked about. All right, so I think that's all I have for you in today's session. um, Maybe I'll stop sharing my screen.
Thank you.
Hi, Moshe.
Thank you again. Hi again. It's so beautiful presentation. We have some question. Let me share question on the screen. The first question is about the Azure policy.
Yeah, sure. So I already taken you through the documentation of the Microsoft, if you all have seen, right? So into that, Azure policy is just a one service or one service, right? But if you compare with the Azure Blueprint, it is uh, kind of managing of multiple service. So centrally, you can manage the four things which I explained into the blueprint, rather than simply just using a policy. I can use a blueprint to perform multiple tasks for me. Again, policy is there. If you feel like you don't want to use Azure Blueprint for managing your infrastructure, simply you just need a policy to get created. Then you can create Azure policy as well, standalone. If you are looking and you want to create it, you can go and create that one. But if you want to manage it in future also, as I told, like you want to, let's say one policy itself, you want to get it created on multiple landscape, then use Azure Blueprint. You don't want to keep on implementing one policy in one subscription, again jumping into another subscription, again implementing that same policy into that account or into that subscription. So use Blueprint. It will leverage you to do or handle the scalability of it.
Okay, the another question.
They are working on it. What I can say for now, Tony, as as I mentioned, like still a way to go. 1.5 year or so is there. And they are asking you to move all the blueprint deployment to the deployment stack. So there is a deployment stack which is upcoming, right? You can explore more about the deployment stack. I think I given the link. No, I've not given. Maybe I'll ask. Can I paste into the chat? Is there?
Yeah.
Can you? Okay. So maybe this will help you, like how you can migrate, or how you can move your uh, what I can say, like move your things to the deployment stack, from the blueprint to the deployment stack. it is still in exploration, I can say, for now.
Yeah, great. Thank you again, Ravi. Thank you, guys, to be this session. I think there's no more question. We can now close this session. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ravi, again. Have a good day.
Thank you, Mohsen. Have a great day, everyone. Cheers. Bye for now. Take care.